Welcome to Circle Sanctuary's Shamrock Full Moon Circle. Tonight we celebrate Irish Culture Day with some traditional poems and songs, but we're also sending out prayers to all of the countries around the world that are fighting for freedom, including our own, where restrictions on our education systems, healthcare options, and ability to vote are being implemented. I pray that we all have the opportunity to learn as much as we can, that we get to make our own decisions regarding our bodies, and most importantly, that we maintain our freedom of speech and the ability to practice our religions as we see fit, each and every one of us honoring the paths that others choose to take. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields as the spring comes again. And may Spirit bless us all with peace in these coming days. So welcome to our Shamrock Full Moon Circle. We're delighted that you're here live or will be watching later. It is now my great honor and pleasure to introduce our High Priestess and Senior Minister, Reverend Selena Fox.
Thank you, Judith, and welcome to everyone who is joining us live right now. Welcome to all of you through the wonders of cyberspace who will watch us in a time-release manner. Thanks to all of you who have joined us in the past for one or more of our monthly full moon circles. And thanks to all of you who are joining us for the first time. Circle Sanctuary is a global nature spirituality church that brings together people of many paths and places. We celebrate nature. We celebrate our ancestors. We celebrate our diversity. We celebrate the ancient ones on places where we are gathered, joining here in cyberspace. And we celebrate full moon and the coming equinox time. Tonight at this Shamrock Full Moon Circle, we also celebrate Circle Sanctuary community as a whole and our connections with Irish culture and heritage. Welcome.
Thank you, Selena. Nikki, would you please now give our Circle Sanctuary announcements?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our March Shamrock Full Moon Circle. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. We've got quite a few announcements for this evening. Remember, you can always check the Circle Sanctuary website at www.circlesanctuary.org for more information. Next month's Full Moon Circle theme is Gaia Rising, and it is on Sunday, April 17th, followed by Circle's Earth Day Festival on Saturday, April 23rd, which will be taking place at Circle Sanctuary's Nature Preserve from noon until 3. Please register online for that. This Saturday, March 19th, is Circle's Welcome Spring Festival in honor of Ostara, the spring equinox. Please register for this virtual ritual on Circle's website at circlesanctuary.org. Registration will stay open until noon tomorrow. It will be broadcasting from 1 through 3 p.m. We have an upcoming Volunteers Weekend on Circle Sanctuary land that is planned for April 8th through the 10th. Circle Sanctuary's Green Faith Circle is April 10th at 11 a.m. Central online. In order to receive the link, please join Circle's Green Faith Facebook page. Our Beltane Festival is scheduled for April 29th through May 1st. More details on that will be coming up soon. Remember, you can still get Circle Sanctuary 2022 calendars in the resource shop online. It'll show all the moon phases and festival dates for this year. As always, Circle Sanctuary Network podcasts feature Nature Mystic Encores by Selena Fox on Sunday nights, Lunatic Mondays in both Spanish and English with Laura Gonzalez. First and third Tuesdays are Circle Talk with Deborah Rose, Nature Spirituality with Selena on Wednesday nights, Moon Magic with Jeanette and David Ewing on varying Thursdays. Our newest podcast is with Char Bear on third Fridays and is called Blue Marble. It is about eco-activism. We round off the week with Laura's Pagans Del Mundo every Saturday. Remember, memberships and donations are very important for the upkeep of our nature preserve. So please check out your opportunities to contribute at Circle's website. Finally, registration is now open for Pagan Spirit Gathering. That'll be held at our new location at the Pulaski County / Fort Leonard Wood Shrine Camp near Waynesville, Missouri. That'll be taking place from June 19th through the 26th. Proof of vaccination will be required. Early registration for the lowest fee, that ends on March 20th. And to attend, you must be registered by early June. I think that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. So Chris, thank you so much for your flute music at the beginning of our broadcast. And would you please now cast the circle?
Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we're going to do the circle cast a little bit different than maybe we've done it in the past. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do who's participating either now as we're doing this live or later, take a moment, take a deep breath, and close your eyes and listen. Take a moment and take note of where you are. Take note of the land that is beneath you. This land is the element of earth for our circle. Now look up and see the sky above you. This sky is the element of air for our circle. Now imagine yourself rising into that sky till it turns from blue to black. Look out into that blackness and find the great glowing ball that is our sun. Our sun is the element of fire for our circle. And now see with greater eyes the stars and galaxies and the places in between. This is the ocean of the cosmos and the element of water for our circle. And now with your mind's eye, turn your attention to our planet, the planet Earth. This is our circle, and we are joined together by the elements we honor. We stand upon the same land. We stand beneath the same sky. The same sun shines upon us, and the same ocean surrounds us. Our circle is cast as we acknowledge these connections. Our circle is cast. Our circle is cast.
Thank you, Chris. I now invite Richard to kindle the moon fire.
I light this candle to represent the bonfire of celebrations, of wild dances around a fire in the woods at night, the fire that leprechauns and fairies dance around. This March full moon fire honors these Irish folk and lore. So mote it be.
Thank you, Richard. I now invite all of our presenters who are here this evening to light their candles. We bring the light of the God and the Goddess, as above, so below, as within, so without. May peace reign for us all. Thank you all for being here tonight or watching later. Blessed be. I now invite Selena to give her Shamrock blessings.
Wonderful to be here with all of you, those of us from the Circle Sanctuary community that are gathered here in this Zoom, and to all of you who are connecting with our ceremony. I invite you in the next few moments of quiet to call to mind the image of the full moon wherever you may be. Imagine it shining above you, regardless of the weather where you may be. Imagine light flowing down upon you and being within you. Bright blessings of the sacred moon. And now, as you envision the full moon in your mind's eye, in the center of that full moon disk, I invite you to envision a shamrock, a green shamrock. We celebrate this Shamrock full moon. And I share with you tonight what is thought to be the source of the shamrock becoming such an iconic symbol, not only of Irish culture, Irish heritage, but of Ireland itself. Thomas Moore, an Irish writer, poet, and lyricist, wrote a poem, a song called "Oh, the Shamrock." He lived 1779 to 1842, and I'm using my own melody for this shamrock blessing. Through Erin's Isle to sport a while, as love and valor wandered, with wit the sprite, whose quiver bright 1,000 arrows squandered. Where'er they pass, a triple grass shoots up with dewdrops streaming, as softly green as emerald seen through purest crystal gleaming. Oh, the shamrock, the green immortal shamrock, chosen leaf of bard and chief. Old Erin's native shamrock. We in our community are from many places and many paths, and I invite you all in our community and those who are joining our community observance to connect with the divine in your own way, according to your own tradition, by whatever name or names that you honor the sacred. And for free thinkers, connecting with Source. Divine as one, divine as many, be with us, be in us, guide us on this night of Irish culture. A night that is known by many names depending on one's attitudes about the name of the holiday. Yes, we're calling it Irish Culture Day. Some call it Irish Heritage Day. Some call it St. Patrick's Day. And some call it Bring Back the Snakes Day. And others call it St. Paddy's Day. So, regardless of where you are on the philosophical, religious, and spiritual spectrum, I hope that you will be able to take delight in our time tonight with bardic sight and magic might. Let us call to the full moon as a goddess of the land, of the sky, of the sea, of the air, of the spirit. We call on the divine as one and many, and tonight we call on the full moon as great mother. We call on the full moon and the connections with Bridget, saint and goddess. A goddess and saint of the sun, but also of the moon. Bright moon blessings by whatever name you celebrate this moon cycle and this time of Irish heritage. So be it.
Bright full moon blessings to you too. Angel, would you now please give your incense blessing?
Thank you, Judith. In my tradition, according to legend, St. Patrick used the shamrock with its three-leaf form to try to attempt to explain the Trinity to the Irish people. And the Irish people supposedly then came up with the Trinity knot as a way to incorporate that understanding into their artwork. And this, you can see that this has a form really resembling the shamrock, but one, as with Celtic knotwork, one part flows into the next like a circle without beginning and without end. Now, the reality is probably closer that St. Patrick probably learned more from the Irish people how to understand the triune nature of the divine from the Celtic people, especially considering that this has been present among the Irish people, the Celtic people, long before Patrick showed up. This is what's called a triskelion, and for thousands of years, it has represented, among other things, the mystery of the divine understood as having three faces or revealed in three persons. It has been said to represent other triad aspects of our reality too, such as the three realms of the ancient world, earth, sea, and sky, the nature of time as past, present, and future, and even we ourselves as body, mind, and spirit. So as I light this incense, and its smoke rises to the heavens, I offer now this triple blessing of a triskelion blessing in the name of the triune divinity of Mother, Maiden, Crone, Father, Son, and Spirit, Goddess, Lord, and Lady, in whatever ways and by whatever names you know them. May your roots sink deep into the earth and your branches reach far into the sky. And may you drink deeply of the life-giving waters of the sea. May you live each moment in the fullness of the past, acting into the present and hoping for the future. And may on this night, when we connect to the divine, to the sacred light of the full moon, may her healing touch foster a renewal of unity between our body, our mind, and our spirit. So mote it be.
Thank you, Angel. I now call upon Bree, who's going to read us a Shamrock Tree poem.
Called The Shamrock Tree by William Worthless. I was walking through the dell as happy as can be. There in the midst I saw a shamrock tree. It had leaves of gold shining very bright, shining in the sun, reflecting off the light. There were lots of flowers, they pure and white, blooming on the tree, so very, very bright. In between the branches there sat a little dove, sitting there so sweetly as he sang his song of love. It was very lovely, a nice sweet melody. I won't forget his song or the shamrock tree.
Thanks, Bree. I now call upon Dia, who's going to give us a Celtic spirit tale.
Thank you. Today I'm going to be reading about Cormac, son of Art, son of Conn of the 100 Battles, was High King of Ireland and held his court in Tara. One day he saw a youth upon the green, having in his hand a glittering fairy branch with 9 apples of red. And whenever the branch was shaken, wounded men and women enfeebled by illness would be lulled to sleep by the sound of the very sweet fairy music, which those apples uttered. And none upon the earth could bear in mind any want or woe or weariness of soul when that branch was shaken for him. Is that branch thy own? Said Cormac. It is indeed mine. Wouldst thou sell it? And what wouldst thou require for it? Will you give me what I ask? Said the youth. The king promised, and the youth then claimed his wife, his son, and his daughter. Sorrowful of heart was the king. Heaviness of the heart filled his wife and children when they learned that they must part from him. But Cormac shook the branch amongst them, and when they heard the soft, sweet music of the branch, they forgot all care and sorrow and went forth to meet the youth. And he and they took their departure and were seen no more. Loud cries of weeping and mourning were made throughout Erin when this was known, but Cormac shook the branch so that there was no longer any grief or heaviness of heart upon anyone. After a year and a day, Cormac said, "It is a year and a day today since my wife, my son, and my daughter were taken from me. I will follow the same path that they took." So Cormac went off, and a dark, magical mist rose above him, and he chanced to come upon a wonderful, marvelous plain. Many horsemen were there, busy thatching a house with the feathers of foreign birds. When one side was thatched, they would go and seek more, and when they returned, not a feather was on the roof. Cormac gazed at them in wonder for a while, and then went forward. Again, he saw a youth dragging up trees to make a fire. But before he could find the second tree, the first one would be burned, and it seemed to Cormac that his labor would never end. Cormac journeyed onwards until he saw 3 immense wells on the border of the plain. On each well was a head. From out of the mouth of the first head, there flowed 2 streams. Into it, there flowed one. The second head had a stream flowing out of and another stream flowing into its mouth. And the third stream had 3 streams flowing from the mouth. Great wonder seized Cormac as he puzzled over this. I will stay and gaze upon these wells to try and ferret out their meaning. But alas, he could not. With that, he set onwards till he came to the house in the middle of a field. He entered and greeted the inmates. There sat a tall couple clad in a many-hued garments. They greeted the king and bade him welcome for the night. Then the wife bade her husband seek food, and he arose and returned with a huge wild boar and a log in his hand. He cast down the swine and the log upon the floor and said, "There is meat, cook it yourself." "How can I do that?" said Cormac. "I will teach you," said the youth. "Split this great log, make 4 pieces of it, make 4 quarters of the hog, put a log under each quarter, tell a true story, and the meat will be cooked." Cormac said, "Tell your story first." 7 pigs I have of the same kind as the one I brought, and I could feed the world with them, for if a pig is killed, I have but to put its bones into the sty again, and it will be found alive in the morning. The story was true, and the quarter of the pig was cooked. Then Cormac begged the woman of the house to tell a story. "I have 7 white cows, and they fill 7 cauldrons of milk every day, and I give my word that they yield as much milk as would satisfy the men of the whole world if they were out yonder on the plain drinking it." The story was true, and a second quarter of the pig was cooked. Cormac was bidden now to tell a story for his quarter, and he told how he was upon a search for his wife, son, and daughter that had been borne away from him a year and a day before by a youth and a fairy branch. "If what thou sayest be true," the man of the house said, "thou art indeed Cormac, son of Art, son of Conn of the 100 Battles." "Truly I am," replied Cormac. That story was true, and the quarter of the pig was cooked. "Eat the meal now," said the man of the house. I never ate before, Cormac said, having only 2 people in my company. Wouldst thou eat, if it were 3 others? If they were dear to me, I would eat, said Cormac. Then the door opened, and there entered the wife and children of Cormac. Great was his joy and exultation. Then Manawyddan MacLear, lord of the fairy cavalcade, appeared before him in his own true form, and said thus, it was, Cormac, who bore away these 3 from thee. It is I who gave this branch, all that I might bring thee here. Eat now and drink. I would do so, said Cormac, could I learn the meaning of the wonders I saw today. Thou shalt learn them, said Manawyddan. The horsemen thatching the roof with feathers are a likeness of people who go forth into the world seeking riches and fortune. But when they come back to their houses, they are bare. And so they go on forever and ever. The young man dragging up the trees to make fire is the likeness of those who labor for others. Much trouble they have, but they never remember to warm themselves at the fire. And the 3 heads in the wells are 3 kinds of men. Some there are who give freely when they get freely, some who give freely though they get little, and some who get much and give little. And they are the worst of the 3, Cormac, said Manawyddan. After that, Cormac and his wife and children sat down, and a tablecloth was spread before him. That is a very precious thing before thee, said Manawyddan. There is no food, however delicate, that shall be asked, but it shall be had without doubt. That is well, said Cormac. After that, Manawyddan thrust his hand into his girdle and brought out a goblet and set it upon his palm. This cup has this virtue, said he, that when the false story is told before it, it makes 4 pieces. And when the true story is related, it is whole again. These are very precious things you have, Manawyddan, said the king. They shall all be thine, said Manawyddan, the goblet, the branch, and the tablecloth. Then they ate their meal, and the meal was good, for they could not think of a meat, but they got it upon the tablecloth, nor could they think of a drink, and got it before the cup. Great thanks they gave to Manawyddan. When they had eaten their meal, a couch was prepared for them, and they laid down to slumber and sweet sleep. When they rose in the morn, they were in Tara, the Tara of the kings, and by their side were the tablecloth, the cup, and the branch. Thus did Cormac fare at the court of Manawyddan, and this is how he got the fairy branch. So mote it be.
Thank you, Dia. That was great. I now call upon Steve, who's going to sing The Rising of the Moon.
Thank you all. And thanks be to Maven Stone for the original, for bringing this song to our attention. This is actually, was originally written to commemorate the 1789 Irish Rebellion, and is our own tip of the hat to the Ukrainian defenders. Oh, then tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush me, buckle, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I hear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon. For the pikes must be together by the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon. For the pikes must be together by the rising of the moon. Oh, then tell me, Sean O'Farrell, where the gathering is to be. In the old spot by the river, we'll ride round to you and me. One more word for signal token, whistle up the marching tune. With your pike upon your shoulder, with the rising of the moon, with the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon. With your pike upon your shoulder, by the rising of the moon. Out of many a one-wall cabin, eyes were watching through the night. Many a manly heart was throbbing for the morning coming light. Farmers ran across the valley like the banshee's lonely croon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. There beside the singing river, that dark mass of mine were seen. Far above their shining weapons hung their own beloved green. Peace to all opposing armies. May the fight be finished soon. And be back among our families by the rising of the moon. By the rising of the moon. By the rising of the moon. And be back among our families by the rising of the moon.
Thank you, Steve. I now invite Laura to talk about St. Patrick's Day in Mexico.
What? Hello, everybody. Laura here, originally from Mexico. You all know I'm from Mexico City, and I live here in the land of the Potawatomi and the Menominee in Chicago. And I'm here to talk to you about this heroic situation. Picture a country that lost 55% of its territory, that was fighting with the greatest nation, the greatest army that ever existed. And they lost half of their territory. They lost Arizona. No, let me correct this. They lost Arizona, California, Nuevo Mexico, Texas, Colorado, Nevada, Utah. Yeah, all that territory was lost to the United States. And they were fighting the biggest war that they ever saw. And the armies were gigantic. And the people that were fighting on the first lines were the people that is usually put on the first lines, the undesirables, right? This was a battalion that was formed mostly by Irish men, but there were also enslaved people that were seeking for freedom, and there were also other people of color of different heritages, and they were all fighting against Mexico. And when the Irish battalion recognized the injustice that was happening, they switched ranks. This is one of the hardest times for Mexico, and it's one of the saddest moments because we lost 55% of our territory. And I quote, "Happy St. Patrick's Day. Que vivan los San Patricios." St. Patrick's Day is a very special day in Mexico because it is a time when Mexicans remember the San Patricios, or the Battalion of St. Patrick, one of the least known stories of the Irish who came to America, meaning the United States, in the 1840s, is that of this Irish battalion who deserted the United States and joined the Mexican army. They fought on the side of Mexico and they perished with the Mexicans. I know, as all of the people have spoken before me today, there are many philosophical ways, romantic, historic, traditional, and religious, to honor today. But I choose to side with kinship and to remember a los San Patricios, the St. Patrick Battalion, led by John Riley. There's hundreds of accounts that you can find online. And with the troubling times that we keep seeing in this planet, I don't need to mention what is going on. We all know what's going on. I invite you that we can see each other for who we are, that we can recognize our cultural differences, but that we can also see injustice where it's seen. Injustice don't see color. Injustice happen to people of all colors. And with that, I salute los San Patricios. I celebrate the Irish Mexican heritage. And all I have to say is salud. It's not green, but the spirit is there. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, Laura, for that very interesting piece of history that I'm sure not a lot of us know. I know I didn't before we talked about it. Bree now has another poem for us.
Poem's called Patty by Timmy Shante. Son Jamie snugly in me hand, a cause for celebration. Today I found me promised land, the home of Irish nation. I dyed me hair shamrock green, I made my teeth look orange. A spiff of carols in between, a sliver of Dutch courage. I mingle with the leprechauns, a shamrock on my chest. Not in 1,000 years gone, I'm messing with the best. Atop the jolly rainbow, in hand a pot of gold, revering till I find me rest, the stories I've been told.
Thank you, Bree. I'm Judith, and I'm now going to sing a song called Let the People Sing by Brian Warfield. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land, their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, through the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free, these songs of yours and mine. For those who are in love, there's a song that's warm and tender. For those who are oppressed, in song you can protest. So liberate your minds and give your souls expression. Open up your hearts and I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land, their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, was music that kept their spirits free, those songs of yours and mine. It was back in ancient times, the bard would tell his stories of heroes and of villains, of chieftains in the glen. With the passages of time, with passion and with glory, to those that have gone before, I'll sing to you once more. Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land, their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, through the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free, those songs of yours and mine. Ireland, land of song, your music lives forever, in its valleys, in its mountains, in its hills, and in its glens. Our music did survive through famine and oppression. To the generations gone, I'll sing for you this song. Let the people sing their stories and their songs, the music of their native land, their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was their music kept their spirits free, those songs of yours and mine. I now invite Nikki to talk to us about the fairies.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nikki. I'm going to be reading a poem called The Fairies by William Allingham. The first few lines may sound familiar, so I was excited to find the rest of this poem. Up the airy mountain, down the rushy glen, we daren't go a-hunting for fear of little men. Wee folk, good folk, trooping all together, green jacket, red cap, and white owl's feather. Down along the rocky shore, some make their home. They live on crispy pancakes of yellow tide foam. Some in the reeds of the Black Mountain Lake, with frogs for their watchdogs, all night awake. High on the hilltop, the old king sits. He is now so old and gray, he's nigh lost his wits. With a bridge of white mist Columkill he crosses, on his stately journeys, some from Slieveleague to Rosses, or going up with the music on cold starry nights, to sup with the queen of the gay northern lights. They stole little Bridget for 7 years long. When she came down again, her friends were all gone. They took her lightly back, between the night and morrow. They thought that she was fast asleep, but she was dead with sorrow. They have kept her ever since, deep within the lake, on a bed of fig leaves, watching till she wake. By the craggy hillside, through the mosses bare, they have planted thorn trees for my pleasure here and there. Is any man so daring as dig them up in spite? He shall find the sharpest thorns in his bed at night. Up the airy mountain, down the rushy glen, we daren't go a hunting, for fear of little men. Wee folk, good folk, trooping all together, green jacket, red cap, and white owl's feather. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. I now call upon Selena to give her healing reflections.
Every month at full moon time, as part of our full moon circle, we focus our intentions and our attention on healing. Healing for self, healing for others that we know, and healing for special situations with the world as a whole. So in the first part of our time of healing tonight, I invite you to focus on working with the color green in a healing way. Green has been linked with healing in numerous traditions. It is the color of life, of vegetation. It's been associated in some traditions with the heart, with love. Green has been connected with fertility and prosperity, and for well-being and sustainability. So in the next few moments of quiet, I invite you to envision a green light forming around you, being within you, a green light of healing and well-being. Envisioning a green light of healing and well-being. Healing and well-being for self. Healing and well-being in whatever way or ways you sense a need. Let it flow in you and around you, blessing your body, bringing physical well-being. Green light, blessing your mind, mental well-being. Green light, blessing your stamina, your vitality. Energy well-being. Green light, blessing your feelings, your emotions, your relationships with emotional well-being. Green light within you and around you. Green light above you and below you. Green light before you and behind you. Green light blessing your soul, blessing your connection with the greater circle of nature, of which we are all part. Blessings of the green, healing with the green, wellness with the green. So be it. And now, taking some deep, slow breaths, shift your attention and intention on healing for others. And guiding our process is some bardic flute music from Chris. And I invite you to imagine images of healing shamrocks going from this sacred circle, rising up, and a shamrock going to each person and situation that you seek to send healing to. Resolution, peace, well-being to. So as the flute music screen. So we've just had an opportunity to use some static to discharge whatever negativity we might be encountering. And while I don't fully understand what might be going on in cyberspace, well, let's just put it this way. We've invoked the wee folk, and well, leprechauns can do interesting and magical things. So I'm not blaming the leprechauns, nor the Irish witches and the fae folk or the she. I'm just celebrating the folklore that is Irish, that allows us to problem solve and to pivot when unusual things come into our sphere of reality. So I'm going to see if our friend and colleague Chris is ready to play some healing music so we can send shamrock wishes of well-being and healing to those in need. And it may be that we have lost that option for now. So I will play my singing bowl as we send forth shamrock wishes to those in need. And I invite you, wherever you are, to speak the name or names, whisper it. If you want to put something in the chat on the YouTube or the comments, I suggest you use first names only or initials for privacy, because not everyone is open to having the fact that they might need healing known by others. So healing for those in need. 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 And as the sound continues to take our request out, I invite you to imagine shamrocks of healing and well-being going out to each situation, to each person that you have remembered, that you are focusing on. Be well, be well, be well. So be it. And I see that Chris has appeared and may be able to play flute, so we have an additional opportunity to send some healing out to those in need. Thank you, Chris, for that and healing and wellness to those in need. In this final part of our healing, we will send healing, strength, support to a variety of places and situations. Let us begin with Ireland. And Ireland is a homeland of many people and the homeland of many of us who have ancestors. Let us send healing and wellness to Ireland, the whole Ireland island. And yes, there's Northern Ireland and there's the rest of Ireland. Let us send to the island as a whole. And to guide this process, I have a Celtic sunstone reproduction from Old Ireland. You will see a series of circles. Small circle, winter solstice. Big circle, summer solstice. Middle circle, the equinoxes. And yes, we wear the green not only to celebrate Irish culture today, but over the next few days as we continue in many places Irish culture celebrations, we also continue full moon celebrations and equinox celebrations. We connect with the powers of Ireland's land and people and send healing and well-being to Ireland, to Irish culture, to Irish people, and to all who have been blessed and enriched by Ireland and Irish culture and people. So be it. And also on this night, let us send healing, strength, courage, protection to Ukraine, the land, the people, the creatures, the plants, the sky, the waters, the democratic government. May there be strength and resolve and the help that is needed to keep Ukraine free as a democracy, healing to those who have been displaced, who are now in other countries, healing to those who have lost loved ones, healing to those injured, healing to the dead, healing to our world, peace to our world, peace and freedom to our world. So be it. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes. And I invite you to send healing to those in Russia who have dared to call this war on Ukraine what it is, a war. An unprovoked attack on a free sovereign nation. So healing to Russians who are speaking out, healing to Russians who are sharing the correct information through various sources, healing to Russians who have been beaten and or jailed for speaking out against the war and attempting to share the truth, and special support to the ballerina who has now left Russia, healing support to the person in state media who put her anti-war statement on a poster on the news, which has made global news. Healing to those in need in Russia. So be it. And let us join together and continue to send healing to the planet that's still dealing with the pandemic. There are outbreaks in various places and some variants. I play this singing bowl to send healing to those with COVID, strength and support to those caregivers, and may all of those impacted by this pandemic, coming out of the pandemic in various places, have healing and wellness guiding them. Be well. Be well. Pandemic dispelled as we become well. So be it. Finally, Earth Day is coming up, and we hope that you'll join us next month to connect with the planet and the need for humankind to work in harmony with each other and the rest of the natural world for a sustainable planet. Healing and wellness to planet Earth. And let us envision a green light of sustainability, of healing, flowing around the earth and in the earth. Healing and wellness for planet Earth. Healing and wellness for planet Earth. Healing and wellness to planet Earth. So be it. Aho. Amen. Ashe, Namaste, Salam, Shalom, blessed be. May we carry with us our connections with each other at this sacred time and this sacred circle to let the healing continue within our own lives and for all of those remembered. So be it. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Healing for planet Earth and all the destruction that's being done to her in many different places. I now call on Sean Thomas to give the Morgana's prophecy.
Thank you. This is the Morgana's prophecy, which is spoken by the Morrigan at the close of the Battle of Motoria. Beneath the peaceful heavens lies the land. It rests beneath the bowl of the bright sky. The land lies itself a dish, a cup of honeyed strength, there for the taking, offering strength to each. There it lies, the splendor of the land The land is like a mead worth brewing, worth the drinking. It stores for us the gifts of summer, even in winter. It protects and armors us, a spear upon a shield. Here we can make for ourselves strong places, the fist holding the shield. Here we can build safe places, our spear-bristling enclosures. This is where we will turn the earth. This is where we will stay. And here will our children live to the third of 3 generations. Here there will be a forest point of field fences, the horn counting of many crows and the encircling of many fields. There will be sheltering trees, so fodderful of beech mast that the trees themselves will be weary with the weight. In this land will come abundance bringing, wealth for our children, every boy a warrior, every watchdog warrior fierce, the wood of every tree spear worthy, the fire from every stone a molten spear stream, every stone a firm foundation, every field full of cows, every cow calf fertile. Our land shall be rich with the banks in birdsong, gray deer before spring, and fruitful autumns. The plain shall be thronged from the hills to the shore, full and fertile. And as time runs its sharp and shadowy journey, this shall be true. This shall be the story of the land and its people. We shall have peace beneath the heavens forever.
Thank you, Sean Thomas. I now call upon Chris to release our circle.
And before I release our circle, I call on my fellow presenters this night to just nod to make sure that everything is sounding okay at this point. Thank you. We have stood in this sacred place, a sacred circle of community joined together across miles by the wonders of the modern world. A circle cannot be broken, for this circle is the circle upon which we live. See yourself again in that sky, seeing the planet down below, and feel yourself gently floating down back towards the planet Earth which we share, back to the point where you reside and where you stand. We recognize the ending of this sacred circle, and yet know that we are always together, bound by the ties of the fact that we are citizens of this planet. Our circle is open. Our circle is open. Our circle is open.
Thank you, Chris. Selena, do you now have some divine thanks and farewells for us?
Divine is one, divine is many. We give thanks. Divine, that is the great mother of the moon. Divine, that is Shamrock. Divine, that's within us and around us. Continue to be with us at this full moon time, at this equinox time. Be with us and be with the planet. May we be blessed with good fortune, good health, and joy. So be it. Thank you all for tuning in and being part of our circle.
Judith, we cannot hear you, my friend.
Thank you for letting me know, Laura. We've got some definitely shenanigans going on tonight. May the circle of life protect you. May the branches of life hold you. May the roots of life encourage you. With no beginning and no end, the circle of life is never broken. As above, so below, as within, so without, blessed be. Thank you for joining us this evening or for watching later. Join us again next month on Sunday, April 17th for our Gaia Rising Full Moon Circle, which is right before Earth Day. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Now, Nikki, would you please tell us about Circle membership and donations?
I'd like to take a moment to thank all of you for spending this evening with all of us here for the Circle Sanctuary Full Moon Circle. It would not be possible without all of your support. The donations and memberships go towards so many things that Circle Sanctuary does. The Circle does public events, both in person and online. Lady Liberty League, the Circle Sanctuary, Green Cemetery, and also upkeep of the beautiful nature preserve that is a vital part of Circle Sanctuary. You can visit www.circlesanctuary.org to see all of the amazing things that Circle Sanctuary does. And please consider a donation or joining the membership program. Thanks again for your support. Have a wonderful full moon evening.